Hey guys, Jimmy here from The Collective. All us Collective boys are headed down to Sydney. We're at Warspeed Industries with the man himself, Troy. We've just had a look around the shop for the last half an hour. Some pretty special things in here at the moment. A lot of big tough engines, a lot of little tough engines as well. There's some special things in here. So let's get straight into it. Thank you for being on here with Troy.
No, thanks for coming up.
And this time guys, no couch. We couldn't bring the couch, it was raining. We didn't want to bring it all this way. So we are sitting on the chairs.
Chair talk.
Chair talk, couch talk is dead. Righto, let's get straight into it. We're down here. How long have you been doing this for?
23 years this year.
Yep.
Started in a shop in Granville and stayed there for 12 years and then progressed on doing some other stuff. And Warspeed itself's probably been around, I'd say 10 years now on various different sorts of aspects. But last 2 years has been serious.
And that's the last 2 years is where you've really, I'm going to say, social media. Bang.
Ramped it up. Went out.
2 years ago I didn't hear it, and then it was just, everything was social media.
Prior to that, I was doing bits and pieces on the side for people.
Still
working at other companies or private contracting to guys. And then 2 years ago we decided, let's have a go.
What got you into mechanical and engines and things like that?
My father's had a mechanical shop for his own shop for 38 years. And from 4 years to 16 years old, I went there every Saturday with him. Loved going to his shop. Hated working on cars. Hated the customers whinging about squeaky brakes and all that sort of stuff. And I'd sit there and I'd tinker around for carburetor under the bench or an engine or whatever. And he was the one that said, don't be a mechanic, become an engine reconditioner. Took his advice, never looked back.
So Dad had it, it's in your blood. You've had a big influence.
My father's a mechanic, my grandfather was a mechanic. My two brothers never followed that way, they've done other stuff. But yeah, I've always just
When did you really grasp the fact of, hey, this is what I want to do?
Well, I mean, we grew up around it. I grew up ski racing, so my father had a ski race boat. So from 5 years old, I was getting towed behind a big block ski race boat. So I'd always been around, subject to motorsport around me all the time. So it was going to happen. There was no way around it.
So obviously back then there was no LSs and things like that.
No, LS didn't exist then.
So what did we start in? Obviously we've talked, you've got a go-kart history. How did that all evolve? Like where did everything...
So go-karting came on later in my life. Ski racing was my first passion, my first sport. Everyone at school would go do football on the weekend and we're like, no, we're going ski racing. So 5 years on, started ski racing. Followed that through till I was 23 and gave up when I was 23. Said I was going to have a year off to get married. And then I got over going to the gym and doing all that sort of stuff and gave up. In about 2000, ski racing went through an insurance period where we couldn't actually get insurance. So the risk of insurance policies was too great. So we actually had a year off from the sport. The whole sport stopped for 1 year.
Righto.
So Dad and I were sitting at home bored out of our brain. It was prior to being married. So I bought a go-kart. Within 2 months, we had 8 go-karts. It just progressed into that. Mucked around at the local track near Dad's house. Just always liked go-karting, always liked it, but hated 2 strokes. I've just 4 strokes, cylinder heads, it's in my blood. So there was a series that ran 4-stroke go-karts. We progressed with that. We started building time bombs. Working these little Briggs and Stratton engines that made 6 horsepower, making 20 horsepower. We'd go to the track on a Friday night.
Pushing everything to the limits as far as you could.
We were having my mate, newbie, make me C&T billet rods. I was having forged pistons made for these go-kart engines that were essentially a tile elevator motor or a concrete pump motor that we're putting on go-karts and revving them. Camshafts made, valves, springs, all that sort of stuff. Killer time, but we'd go on a Friday night, we'd take 3 engines with us because we knew we were gonna blow Conrod sky high. But it was a $600 engine, so it didn't matter. Then we started a modified series for people to go racing in modified engines. But then I like control of racing, so we went in doing endurance racing, which is stock standard motor. Stock standard motor, go out there and do anywhere from a 4-hour to a 24-hour long race.
So are you heavily driving yourself, or are you more focused on the engine?
No, I drive.
So you're more focused on...
We then took that into...
So you're building them yourself, tuning them yourself, and then racing them?
And then we took that into actually getting our own chassis made overseas. So my father and I designed our own chassis, worked with a company in the Czech Republic, sent my drawings over there, what we could work within their jig with what we wanted, and made our own version of a go-kart.
So that was later on, like that was after...
So that was only a few years ago.
And what were you doing before that, like engine-wise? It's got to be what started. What were the first engines you were ripping down? 5 litres or...
Blown big blocks I started on.
Oh, okay.
I
Straight
go to
into deep
TAFE,
end.
I go to TAFE and everyone's doing Geminis, and I was working for a race shop that was a company at Granville called JB Performance.
Yep.
I had 2 very, very good teachers at the time.
Yep.
By my second year, I was pretty much running the shop because they were over it and I was fresh blood.
Yeah,
Loved
and you were hungry for it, you had the drive. Yeah.
And I started as a machinist. So a lot of engine builders in the industry will start, they'll build an engine for themselves and they'll build one for their mates, and they go all right and they build a business. I started what I believe is the right way, and learnt how to measure, learnt how to machine, learnt how to do all that, and then took that further on and then stopped doing as much machining and progressed more into the engine side.
And you explained to me the other day on the phone that you said, like, you're not a mechanic. You don't like cars.
I hate cars.
You build engines, you build them to the proper spec, you know what you're looking at, that's what you're dedicated
I love engines. My theory with business in nowadays is there's too many shops offering so much stuff that they're not doing it 100% right. So they might do everything in-house, but they're only doing it 10% right. I feel that I would work with what I do, what I believe I can do 100% right, and then work with another company that can do 100% right.
To the limit.
So I'll do the engines and then give them to another fab guy. Give them to an auto electrician and give them to a tuner, or vice versa. We can tune, but then if they're EFI, we then work in with other people that do the EFI tuning. And work in that way and offer what I believe the customer at the end will get 100% right all the way along, rather than one shop only doing it 10% right and they don't get the result that they deserve.
So. 100%. Like, they've got everything scattered. They build this, they're doing this, they're doing this. Whereas you're like, come to me, I'll build you an engine. You want a gearbox? Go to a gearbox.
That's right. How can I be tubbing a car and then go in the engine room and put an engine together covered in grease and dirt and grinding marks all over me? So
And obviously, if you're working there, when did you go through a couple of shops, or did you?
So I worked there for 12 years.
And
at the time I used to say to my partner at the time, which is now my wife, like, I used to refer back, my brothers have been through, 3, 4, 5 different workplaces, and I'm stuck in the one place. But I loved it. I enjoyed it. I left there and I actually became a butcher for 12 months. Totally random.
Let's talk about that, because I want to know what hated engines, had a fallout.
Nah, just the company that I was working for had changed ownership. New owner bought it. Probably couldn't commit to what the business needed and was going to shut it down. So I didn't want to go down for sinking ship. So I resigned. When my first son was born, I resigned. My mate of mine had a small goods business. And he's like, come work for me for a while. I'm like, yeah, why not? It's pretty cruisy. So it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. It was cruisy, easy hours, because he was a mate.
Working for someone else.
Working for a mate.
Stress.
It was cool, I could pick my wife up and go and have lunch. I'd be home by 12 o'clock. And I got to see my newborn, like my son, who's 11 now. I got to see him for that first whole year. I nearly got to see him every day. Now I might see him once a week.
Yes, business owners, a lot of business owners out there will know the exact same feeling as that. It's
So that was good. But then after a year, I got hungry again. I needed to get back in the industry. Had to go at sales. Lasted 6 months in office, and then that really
dealing with people
drove me bonkers. So I left that, went and worked for another guy for about 2 years, who I'd been doing cylinder heads for a long time. When I worked for him, he was building ski race boats. So I worked for him, helping him out with his engine side of the things. Worked for him for 2 years, and we sort of helped the engine department for him and got it reliable. And then he was, his work had dried up a little bit, transitioned to sport, gone from custom engines to buying a Mercury crate motor out of the box. So his work side of things dropped, so he was able to take care of his workload on his own. So I moved on, went and worked doing race cars for 12 months. So like improved production cars and prod sports cars, doing little Lotuses and other bits and pieces. But a lot of time away from home too. Come weekends, you're building their toys for them to use on the weekend. So it meant you're at work all week, and then you're with them on the weekend.
You're with them, tuning, refining, making,
So it was hard. So then I tried the sales thing again, and that lasted 2 weeks that time. They loved me. They thought it was fantastic.
Because your knowledge that you'd bring in,
it
you'd
was
be
for
able
a
to talk to a
company.
customer, and you'd be able to,
it was for XCD clutches, so one of the best clutches in the world. I was employed as a territory manager to drive around, and it was just wasn't for me. They wanted me to stay. You're supposed to work 6 months before you got work uniform, and they were getting me to fill out the form within 2 weeks, and here they're asking for the form, and I'm trying to hand in a resignation letter at the same time. So it just wasn't meant to be.
And then is that when we evolved to going out on our own?
So then I worked privately for a guy doing his boats for a couple of years. And then moved on and went actually back to another engine shop. Worked another engine shop for another 2 years. I never backed myself. I'll be straight out honest. I never thought I had the balls to go deep enough and open up my own business. I thought I can do it. but I didn't want to do
The
it.
first thing I'm thinking is, as we just spoke before at the start, the last 2 years you've blown out.
Yep.
But there's 23 years
Prior to that.
of that. You know what I mean? You've covered everything. Go-karts, boats, race cars. So that's why when people go, oh yeah, he's come out and you haven't come out. You've been doing it for
We've been doing a long time.
There's only 1 year we were cutting meat for a year. But we're at home early. But you have covered everything.
Yeah, no, we've done a lot. So I worked another engine shop. That gave me an insight into the car side of things more than what my passion for boats was. I'd always had a passion for boats, growing up around the boats. My parents live on the river. So everything was all boats, boats, boats.
Yep.
For every one boat, there's 500,000 cars out there. Don't limit yourself to a market that I thought was what I had to limit to myself to because of what I grew up around. Met some fantastic people through the car scene. The likes of, Craig Skiddett with Mutiny and Marshy with I Hate Fords and guys that backed me the minute I opened the door.
And you started making them connections.
So as soon as I opened the door, those guys jumped on board straight away. And man,
they're the type of guys, obviously they have a big following themselves.
They're the guys that go and do all the wrong things, but promote me. They'll go and skid it at someone else and get kicked out.
But it has a massive sticker on the back window, and then it's all over Facebook. You go, who's that? Bang, and then you share it, and then and that's the power of social media.
Social media is.
There's so many businesses, and I'll say it straight out. I'm one of the many that if I started a business without social media, I don't think I would have survived.
No.
I mean, Yellow Pages and Border Mail and Herald Sun. I wouldn't have. You know what I mean?
Even websites now. Like, I don't have a website.
Neither do I.
You don't need.
I don't have a website. Like I don't. They ring me up and they go, oh, you need a website, and they click on it, they type in detail in my area, and I'm the first one that comes up because Facebook actually runs through that as well. So I come up first. The people that are paying are below me. I'm like, proof's in the pudding.
But you go to the shops and you stand at the Woolworths waiting, and what are people doing? They're looking at Facebook, they're looking at Instagram, they're not looking up Google and searching something. Google doesn't, for what
There's
we're
that ad
doing.
that gets around on TV now, it's a dude that's in the railway station over America, and there's like a big Nike sign, that's probably like a $50,000 sign, everyone's sitting there on their phone. They'll be looking at free posts on their phone like that. So you've come in at you just had that sweet spot, you met the right guys, you've come in and everything sort of just flowed. And obviously from what you've just said there, you've covered everything.
Oh, you've
done go-karts.
We've had fun along the way, definitely. We've definitely done.
What is, like a lot of them guys, you've obviously worked with them for a long time, was it hard breaking them connections? And
no.
The guys you were with first, I mean, obviously they grew out of it and things like that, but to do 12 years and then sort of...
Yeah, I mean, they grew out of the industry, they got over it. Like my first bosses, they changed ownership. I still speak to one every now and again after all these years.
Oh, they'd love to see you succeed as well.
And even only a couple of years ago, one of the bosses moved away, but he needed something done. He came down and used my shop. I just went, go for it, mate. You gave me 12 years of what I could learn. Like I've had 3 great teachers of this industry in my life. One being my father, who is, doesn't push himself to these limits. He's got a mechanical shop, but he can sit there and build engines.
So Dad's still
on the tools now, man. Yep. I keep telling him to retire, but he won't, because I want him to retire to come here and work for me. But he won't. So I had him as a teacher, and I had the 2 owners of the original business that I worked for, who just gave me every bit of knowledge that I could. So
they're the ones that boot started. They taught you everything, and you always got to be thankful for the people that don't. You're going to get a lot of people that burn you along the way, which we've spoken about, but you're also going to get a lot of people that they give you them lift ups in life that you just never expected. And now you look back at it 20 and you're like, shit, like I could have been a butcher.
100%, Still should.
I could have been a butcher for a long time. So when did Warspeed, so obviously you met Marshy in that, what year was that? When was that starting?
Marshy would have been 14, the start of 14, it was when I went and worked for another engine shop. For the best part of, it was probably 18 months I worked there. And I met him through there. His engine got tuned there. It was built by another guy that had got tuned there, and I met a few of them through there. I'd built engines for some of these burnout guys whilst I was working there. But I never approached them. But when I left,
they approached you.
They approached me. I'm a very loyal type of person, and I would never shit on anyone. I will look at an invoice and go, man, that's dear, and I'll drop my own hourly rate down to stick to a quote of what I've done because I'm pretty loyal that way. So I would never approach a customer from someone. I'll offer a hand.
You won't try and poach anything. It's a respect thing.
So really, as soon as I left that company, bang, I was getting phone calls, and when people found out I'd left, I was finished up on a Friday, and Saturday morning I opened the doors.
And is this when you were in with Dad?
So I worked in my dad's shop. I had to ring my dad that night and say, hey Dad, can I have some of your floor space? And him being him, he was, he agreed to it straight away.
Yep.
We built a nice little engine room down the back corner.
Yep.
I told my father at the time, so this would be around April 2015, 2000. I'm trying to think now. 15 be 2016. Yep.
Yep.
I asked for a corner. I said I'd only ever have 4 or 5 engines on the go at any one time.
Yes.
And Dad's been in his business. Dad took on this mechanical shop that he owns now when I was first born. So Dad knows where every crack is in the floor. He knows where every nut, bolt, everything like that. And over time, I could see that we were growing, and I didn't want to be the one outgrowing the area he'd given me and interfering in his business.
And start stepping on his toes.
And I loved being around him. Like, I'd still call him, hey, Dad, come in the engine room and have a look at this. And, still get his advice. And I'll still ring him out and say, hey, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Even if I don't need to ring him, it's just good to ring him and say that thing to him because he taught me. And I still respect everything that he taught me to this day.
And for him to see you growing and what you've done, he'd be proud as punch.
I hope so,
I'm sure he would be, like, you know what I mean? To see what you've done in...
Yeah, so we stayed there. We stayed there 12 months. But I feel in myself I probably limited the business because of the room that I'd agreed to take.
So how many engines we have sitting in there?
At that time I probably had maybe 10, 15.
So we went from 4 to 10 to 15?
Yeah, and now, well, now I probably at any one time I've got between 30 and 40 engines on the go at any one time.
Yeah, and you're a one-man show.
One-man shop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and as I was saying the other day, you put up a post and straight away I could relate because you said quality over quantity.
Yep.
So you'd rather do, if you can put out 2-3 engines a week, but you're dead set happy with them 2-3 engines instead of doing 13 engines and getting paid, but 10 of them rod 2 weeks later.
Yeah. I'd rather take my time and do it right.
Yep.
If it goes good, it's all on me.
Yep.
But if it goes bad, it's all on me.
Yep.
And I think at the moment we've got a good rapport with our customers because it's nearly a one-on-one deal. They'll ring me up, they'll find us through social media or some of that, and they'll ring me up. You guys have all seen...
There's not 3 people getting involved.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, Janet said before that you're going to put this part in.
Exactly,
No, mate, like it was just one-on-one. We spoke about this. This is what we're doing.
Yep. Every post I put up, I get asked how much. I refuse to answer that on social media.
Yep.
And the reason is I don't care about my price. I'll hand out a price, but for what I've just put in that engine, just by looking at it and looking pretty and painted, you don't know what's inside there. Yep. You don't know that old mate down the road might have put $1,000 set of rods in there. I've put a $3,000 set.
Yep.
So all of a sudden on social media, they think I'm expensive or I'm too cheap, but they don't know what's in there.
And the big one thing that me and Trev have noticed, and we spoke about it recently, is you comment on everything and you're always nice. There's a lot of times that you just want to, like you'll see people ask you questions or you'll see a post and you get tagged in it and you get involved in it and you're reading the post and a lot of people know what you're thinking or what other people are thinking or engine builders and things like that, but you take the time, you reply to people, you be straightforward, you be honest and you're like this and this. Whereas that's, sometimes I don't know how you do that. I couldn't take that.
I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
I don't go to work, I'll be honest. I come here every day.
Yeah.
And I just spend people's money, play with their toys, build their dreams. I've never worked a day in my life, full stop.
Yeah.
Because I believe if you go to work and enjoy your days, you're not working.
Yeah, 100%.
I went through this with my wife when she finished school. She got like 96% on her HSC back then. I don't know how the scoring works now, but back then, and she's like, man, I can be anything. I said, you can be, but do what you want to do.
Yeah.
She could have been a doctor.
Want to be a golfer.
She could have been unhappy a golfer, and she went and become a teacher, and she loves it.
Yeah.
Now she's, now she's the brains behind this place for me.
Yeah.
And whether she wanted to or not, that was happening. But yeah, I love my days, so I'm happy to hand out information to the people. But don't take me for a fool.
And another big thing that I've noticed only recently, kids. Once you have kids, the motivation goes through the roof.
Yep.
Like that's when you really start looking down the future and things like that. Like now, obviously, we don't need to talk about how big you are now because if you don't know who Warspeed is, you're under a rock. But like, where do you see the future now? How much bigger can you get? Because you can't get to the point where you're doing these 10 engines a week because then you're going to have 4 or 5 dudes working.
Yeah. So, and I'll never put staff on.
Yep.
I'd like to be able to, as I say, when my father retires, he can come and strip engines, clean some parts for me, hang out basically, do what he wants to do. The business can only grow so much because 2 hands can only do so much in 1 hour.
Yep.
We do
plus 20 million phone calls.
Exactly. Yeah. We're working on our. Not that I want to be a spare parts shop.
Yep.
I want to be able to offer guys the right parts.
Yep.
And no disrespect to any wholesaler or parts out there, but what we carry is what we fit.
Yep.
We're not. If someone rings up and says, "Hey Troy, what camshaft should I put in this?" I don't have to go and look at the catalogue and say, oh, well, you know, you're going to do this and it'll rev to this and it'll do that. You tell me the combo, I'll tell you the camshaft to put in it.
Yep.
I carry the valve spring that we
experience
use.
as well,
I carry the pistons we use. I carry the gaskets. I carry all that, mainly LS based, because you go back to an old school small block Chev or a big block Chev, there's 30 different inlet gaskets and 20 different sump gaskets, so many combinations. LS has simplified that market.
Yep.
But we are progressing with our parts side of things just to offer the end user the right part, because there's a lot of end users who are getting the wrong parts from the wrong people.
A lot of people paying twice, and a lot of people are getting burnt.
Poor man pays twice.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to just
still one, still right.
Yeah, we have a strong sales in Perth, and I don't advertise ever. Social media, that is it. I don't advertise. I don't promote. I don't put in a magazine. I don't do nothing. We have the likes of Street Machine that help us.
Yep.
But we don't advertise in there. But we sell to Perth a lot. We sell to all over the place a lot. But it means we're getting the right stuff to them, and that makes me happy. If I see a car go out there and I know we didn't build it, but we know it's got our stuff in it, we're happy.
Yeah. And you've given them the right specs. You've given them a rundown of, hey, use this with this. You might not have put it together, but you know that everything in there, once if it's assembled properly, it's going to be a banger combo. So and you know it's not just it's being picked out of a catalogue. I won't say brand. It just hasn't been picked out of a catalogue.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I want this can to real lumpy. Yeah, you just pick that one, mate, and put them valve springs in it and do that, and you'll be right. And then it's dynoed and it's NA made 700 kilo. And you're like, yeah, sure. Because there's plenty of them out there. Let's go back a long time. What is the hardest engine? What's the biggest engine that's given you grief? You're gonna have there's got to be one of them engines where it lasted 4 months and then it just got to the point where you hated it that much and you just wanted to bin it.
No, not really.
Really?
No.
Surely you've had a motor that you've had heaps of issues with and you've just hated it. Like it's come back 60 times because of simple things or not your issues or parts breaking. Surely you've got we have bad days.
I guess I haven't rodded an engine in my life. Like I'm going to be straight out honest. I've never had an engine that I built rod.
Really?
100%.
If that doesn't sell engines, well then.
And I'm not talking like I'm not.
If you have a Warspeed engine, rev them to 12.
I'm not trying to be like a smartass. Like it's you know.
But again, you said at the start you only focus on the engines. Yeah.
And I'll only use quality stuff.
And you've been taught from an early age the correct things.
Yeah. And we're fortunate at the moment that nearly all our builds for the last 2 years have been brand new builds.
Yep.
I haven't got Bob down the road bringing back his engine that he had built in the 70s and then the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
That's, no one's changed the parts. Everything we build is brand new.
Yep.
And, we'll go downstairs and we'll see some of them now that they might have come in as dirty old engines, but they've left with all brand new parts in them and stuff. Yep. So we're playing with good stuff. Yep. We're not playing with junk.
Yep.
And we will play with a junk engine, but we'll make it a good engine at the end of it.
Yep.
So.
Well, if you haven't had an engine like that, let's go. What has been the best engine you've built? Like the one that's given you the most satisfaction? What have you sort of seen? Like whether it's you have a go-kart revenue. Yeah. What are you on? Like that was a banger engine. Like what is an engine that you've been like? You've just seen. You've been like, I'm proud as punch of that. I know there'd be a couple.
Yeah, there's a few engines over time that we've done, and may not even necessarily been one even under the Warspeed banner.
That's what I mean. You might have built like for a boat, like
years ago. I worked for a guy called Priest Family Marine, and when I'd done the 2 years building Scuros boats, we took a boat to Belgium. We won the world title. Went over there, so it was a joint effort between him owning the business and me working for him. He couldn't get over there for the trip, so the owner of the boat took me over there. So I went to Belgium for 2 weeks, ran this boat in 4 races over a week. And we won every race.
Okay.
And it was like, man, we just come home like
you've just gone to Belgium. You've just smashed everyone. You've won 4 races. That's you fly home. You're happy.
The team was what won it. But the boat didn't let it down.
The team won it, but at the end of the day, the motor was.
And I can't take credit for that because it wasn't under the Warspeed banner. No. It was under another banner, but
you still got a lot of. It was it was a good thing for you to be able to do that and share it with someone else.
Now we've got the likes of Marshy getting a trophy the other week and Steve Grimer down there off his VK winning Cootamundra the other week and
he had a lot of bad luck before that too.
We won't go down that path, but there's we had an engine turn up here to build for him, which was simply come in and put a block in it, and then that whole engine got taken away and we started fresh. So that was I take every engine I build very, very personally, and I become friendly with every person I build the engine for.
And that's something I've noticed too in business now is that once you get a few customers in and you have a good, like you can build some unreal relationships with customers.
Yep.
Like a lot of my customers now are good friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They come in, we have a chat. I love working on it. Like I'm bringing this in, I'm bringing that in. That's the thing that I'm found in business now and yourself. Like obviously you've got a big reputation. You've got guys now that you'll have for life.
Yeah. Yep.
Like no matter what now, like they come in for, they'll blow up their friggin' Ford Fiesta. They'll bring the engine in, like build Ford Fiesta, and, you know, just because they know you're good at what you do. And yeah, that's now that you've built the relationships with, you know what I mean? You watch Summernats or even Power Crews and things like that. Everything going down the main straight, peel on time. Warspeed. Like everything. And that must be a good thing for yourself.
Oh, I love it. Like I, as I say, I take everything I do personally. If I do have niggling issues along the way, I take that personally as well. Like if something goes wrong, like I get upset. The phone rings and it's like, man, we've had an issue. It's like, oh man, really? Like, you get upset by it.
These are engines, but
100%.
Nothing's, and I'm sure you say it, nothing's bulletproof.
No, never, ever.
Like,
ever.
If someone comes in and gives you 200 grand, I want you to build me the best LS in the world for 200 grand. You're like, righto, I'll charge you 190. It's the best engine ever. It's still not bulletproof.
Oh, they're going to fail. We're pushing, everything nowadays is getting pushed. We spoke before we went on, I spoke to the boys down there before. 20 years ago when we were all in our Ps, we had cars that were making 100 horsepower. You know, now the kids on their Ps have got cars that are making 500 horsepower. You know, so from the factory things have evolved. Let alone engine builders have evolved with it at the same time. So yeah, Chad's GTO down there. It came to me with an engine that had done 200 Ks and it failed, 100 Ks and it failed, 20 Ks and it failed. 3 engines in a row.
So he paid 3 times.
He paid 3, then he paid 4 to me. So we built a brand new engine. That's over 18 months ago now. And he's still driving it. Takes it to roll racing every time. Takes the Power Cruise. Takes everywhere. 780, 760 horsepower. Vortex side mount blower on it. All that sort of stuff. And it just drives and drives and drives. But he turned into a customer who then went, man, I've had my Walkinshaw engine built by the same guy. I'm going to drop it off. We fixed it. We got it going and he sold it. And luckily we did. Then he dropped off his LSX that he had built by the same guy and dropped it off. So, you know, it was just... He's because we helped him so much, it's turned into he'll call in during the day, say good day, and we've got 3 engines out of him. Not that it's for the dollar sign we've got 3 engines out of him, but we've built a reputation with him that he's happy to keep coming back. And then he sends his mate here, and then he'll happily put a big Warspeed sticker on the back windscreen. I got an engine from his mate because they took his car to roll racing the other month. And they chopped some little 4-cylinder buzz box at roll racing. And as they were driving back down through pit lane at roll racing on the Friday night, the people on the grandstand yelled out, yeah, the Warspeed. His mate was in the passenger seat, rang me the next morning and said, I want an engine. And I'm like, well, why? He goes, because I want that. He goes, I want someone to say, yeah, the Warspeed. I'm like, no worries, man, knock yourself out.
It's a big reliability thing. How do you go, obviously you can build any engine, you can build it to your specs, whatever. Tuners. How do you feel? You mean there's some, like, you might build a killer engine for someone, they go, I'm taking it to such and such, and you go, their track record. How do you talk much with the tuners when you build an engine?
Yeah, and I like to. So we have our preferred people that we'd like to see them go to. Carbureted stuff, we'll engine dyno it ourselves. So I use one of our relationships we've got with BK Engines, I'll use him. Put on his dyno, we'll do it down there. So carbureted or blown, mechanical, anything like that, we'll put on his dyno. We share ideas together on the day because I don't close myself off and think we know everything, so we work together.
Day you stop learning, day, that's...
So we're working with him. EFI stuff, I've got a few guys that we use to tell them to, I think him or him is good. I've learnt one thing in life is give out 3 recommendations, don't ever give one.
We spoke about this earlier.
So give out 3 recommendations, let them feel who they're comfortable with. We've had stuff that has gone to tuners we've never heard of and it's ran good. But then we've had stuff that's go to other tuners that we've heard of and it's ran bad. So I can tune, but I choose not to tune. What would take me 5 hours might take a tuner an hour. Because I'm not
all
doing
day they're sitting on the rollers, they're in the chair all day.
That's right. They're sitting there with a laptop like we spoke about before. That's 100% their job to do. So we work in well. I've got a good mate of mine, Dale from Castle Hill, who tunes one of the fastest LSs in Australia, bits and pieces. Not only is he a business clientele, but he's also a personal friend outside the business. So we can talk. I can confidently send him to people to him. But I also, as I say, I always give them a choice of who I think they should use in my eyes.
And obviously, you don't just build LSs. Warspeed just doesn't build. We walked in the door, we're downstairs. First thing Trev's like, that's a Barra. There's a Barra.
So we do Barras, we do LSs, we do big block shares. So when I was at TAFE, started TAFE in '95, or 96. I started the trade 95. I did 2 weeks work experience at the shop, and on my second day I got offered a job. So the first day I could leave school,
you were built to born it. You were made
I was built to
build
go
engine.
there, yeah.
You will.
So when I'd go to TAFE, and I still speak to one of the boys I went to TAFE with now. He's got his own shop about 4 hours away.
Yep.
The first year of our TAFE course was fitter and machinist. Second and third year was engine reconditioning. For 2 years, we got to rebuild a 6-cylinder Holden between 3 of us. So our 2-year TAFE course was a 2-cylinder engine, basically. And my mate that I built it at the time, he's got his, as I say, he's got his own engine shop now. But whilst you talk to kids at TAFE and they're rebuilding VL engines at the time, or EA Falcon engines at the time, and I machine up blown inject alcohol big blocks.
Yeah, that's
because where I worked was focused around circuit race engines, funny car engines, drag cars, circuit race boats, all high-end stuff. So I didn't start at the bottom. I got to start at the top. And have tried to stay up there ever since, because that's what we got taught.
And once you're at the top too, that's you kind of got to prove yourself and stay there. You know what I mean? You could be out doing, building 186s or something. You know what I mean?
5K Toyotas,
we'll get to that later, because that was.
It's
And in saying everything you just said, then have you done much with drag cars?
Yeah, we do some cylinder head repairs for some of the top fuel teams in Australia. Nitro funny cars, we do cylinder head repairs for them. And then we do other bits and pieces. So Castle Hill with their RX3, RX3 with an LS in it. Other bits and pieces. They've got a big block in their Commodore. We do cylinder heads for them. So not only do we do a complete engine package here, my passion has always been cylinder heads. I love cylinder heads. I love make sure the cylinder head goes together right. Yes, we used to do a lot of cylinder head porting, flow bench there in the background, being a small one.
Behind us.
There's cylinder head stuff here to keep myself going. The industry's progressed a lot for hand porting isn't a thing anymore. It's more CNC porting and stuff, which is great because it gives my shoulders and arms a break. So now I work in with other guys that do the CNC porting for us, but then I still am very anal in the way I put a cylinder head together, rocker geometry and reliability. And the LS market, burnout cars with
leaning on it. Everyone
bang, hitting the limiter the whole time. I've had to teach my drivers to stay off the limiter because of what it does to the valve train, and teaching them to stay off that and keep the engine reliable. So we take
quality over quantity again.
Exactly. Take a lot of time in our assembly of the valve train to know that when they are going to hop in that seat and they're just going to sit on the limiter and bang on it the whole time, I know that what we've done inside the engine for the valve train side of things and cylinder heads is going to survive. Yeah,
you have such a passion. I can tell just talking to you the way that.
I love it. I can go home. I can leave here at 5, go home, have dinner, take the kids to sport, and then I'll come back down here and I'll hang out here till midnight, 1 o'clock, and sometimes just.
I always see that it's like someone will put up like, I need this done, an engine build on Facebook or yada, and you'll see Warspeed tagged 20 million times. I'm like, I bet he's just looking at his phone going, notifications off, and then you just start replying to all of them. Like, what are you doing? How do you have the time to do that? And then it's like, oh, this engine went out this week. Like, you must do some pretty big hours.
Yeah, we do. And it's. When I worked for someone else, it was hard because I feel that whenever I've worked for someone, I've always treated their business like mine.
So you've always gone that little bit further, you've put in that little more.
And sometimes you get kicked in the face because of it, or you feel like you are. But now that we're actually doing it for ourselves, the backing from my wife is, she gets it now. Like,
and you don't get to spend as much time with the kids and that, but when you do, it's quality time.
So
it's like
weekends,
business is off, like they've got nothing to do with it. Kids, let's go do this.
My racing side of things for the go-karting is taking a step backwards because I might be here 80 hours a week now. So I don't feel it's right for me to spend 80 hours at work during the week, then hop in the car and go off go-kart racing. So now I make sure Saturday morning I'm at soccer with my son. Friday nights I'm picking my daughter up from choir and then taking my son to advanced baseball training. And
you have to do these things. It's just, and there's a lot of business owners out there now that are doing the exact same thing.
You got to do it.
You work, as soon as you're a business, everyone's like, oh, you're a multi-millionaire, and you got this and you do that, and you retire and you're home by 4 o'clock. No one understands it. It's the complete opposite. Everything is the opposite. I touched on it briefly before, but we didn't go into it. Where do you see Warspeed going? Do you have obviously this is just rolled on and it's just happened and it's here. But do you have like an idea where you want to be in those couple of years? Or
I mean, our idea is to keep
Bahamas, wealthy, retired with the kids.
No. I mean, as I said, we're only ever going to earn so much money. I'd like to push the parts side of business more in offering not your gaskets and all that sort of stuff. The little stuff.
Custom stuff.
My oil pump brackets that we make. The finishing things that we feel that the market hasn't got here yet.
Yep.
So I don't want to be the next wholesaler. I just want to be able to offer the right part.
Yep.
So I want to push that. My wife takes care of a lot of that for me. So it's good that we can do that together. This side of things, keep on pushing on high-end engines. Keep on making engines go out the door, presented way better than anything else.
Yeah, and that's another thing we noticed. Go down the engine room and everything there's just slick. To look at, like it doesn't look like, everything is just gorgeous to look at. Like
we a set of billet rocket covers on an engine make or break it.
Yep.
And it's not that much more.
Yep.
They're going to go and spend $5,000 on a set of wheels.
Yes.
But you're going to whinge about putting a set of rock covers on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Put a set on it. Yeah. Because it makes it leave looking nice. And we want to see our engines. Yeah. We want the bonnet pop and go, wow, like, it looks cool.
It performs well, it looks good. It's the whole package.
Yep, and that's what we want. We want to keep on pushing the limit of presentation, keep on making them look good, keep on developing parts side of things, work hard with the LSAs. You know, we're pushing hard on them at the moment because they've got issues. And we want to rectify those issues and we want to make them look shit hot. That's our plan. Our plan is to have the business continue to grow where it is. As I said, it can only ever grow so much, but not lose sight of what got us here.
You want to build, I think you've already done it. You've already cemented your reputation, but 10 years down the track, you want to still have the same workload now because you build good engines. Like it's just a constant drip of work, of constant big engines, everything's presented well, it goes out, it's reliable, it's top notch. Yeah, that's... And I'm in the same boat, like I could put on 10 people tomorrow and take as much work as I can, but I would not enjoy it.
Then
and
your
then things go out the door, and you're like, I'm not happy with that, I'm stressing on that.
At least now, if it goes wrong.
You said the other, people will wait for good work.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, hey, I need an engine I want to drop 40K, yada, yada, yada. Cool, mate, I'm about a month ahead. Oh, but I really want it now. There's two other dudes that they've paid me the cash, we're buying the parts. If you want the engine, you can wait. It's like, then they go to somewhere else and they come back and like, you know that engine, I've just wanted this one, can you build me a new one?
That's right.
You're going to pay twice now. Unfortunately, like I can't,
The right customer will wait. The wrong customer, well, he was never meant to be here.
Thank you for the chat, Troy.
No worries,
we're going to go downstairs. We're going to have a look at a few things, big things, little things. Check out some products. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.